Every time I talk about Vyasa's Mahabharata, most people confuse it with the Mahabharata serial that was aired in the 90s, which was produced by B.R. Chopra. If you observe the credits properly, B.R. Chopra himself suggests that his reference material is Bhagavata Purana and not really the Vyasa's Mahabharata as it claims to be. So, the critical component that needs to be noted is that a great many aspects that are mentioned in Mahabharata do not find any mention in those serials. While some parts are presented, there is no clear reason about the insight that each of this story present. One of the most important stories presented here is that of Shantanu. Shantanu was one of the finest kings of Hastinapur. And it so happened that one day when he was going somewhere, he happened to meet this beautiful lady called Matsyagandha and he took a shining for her. And he asked to marry her. So she said, I have no problems marrying you, but you have to get the blessings of my father. So he went to her father, a fisherman. And the fisherman said, I don't mind you marrying my daughter, but I have a condition. What would that be? That only the children she bears and their children must sit on the throne of Hastinapur. Shantanu said, that won't be possible because I already have a son named Devavrata and I have already crowned him as my crown prince. So it will be very unfair on him. So fisherman said, then that's not my problem. But if you want to marry my daughter, you have to give me this promise. So, dejected, Shantanu went back to his palace. And everybody could see that he was not himself. Something was bothering him. So his son Devavrata went to his father. He said, what happened? He didn't say anything. So then he went to the charioteer who was with the king all the time. So the charioteer said that I don't know what happened, but he went to some place and I can take you that place if you want. So Bhishma said, please do that. So when the charioteer took him to the fisherman, Devavrata asked him, my father was here and everything was fine and now he's very unhappy. Can you explain me what the reason could be? So the fisherman said what the problem exactly was, that his father, Shantanu, wanted to marry his daughter, and he said that only her children and the children born by their children should sit on the throne of Hastinapur. So Devavrata said that, is that all? Don't worry, I will relinquish my title to the crown prince, and her children may sit on the throne. But which should have solved the problem, actually led to more of the trouble. Because the fisherman said, well, you see, you are a Kshatriya, so you have genes better than that of my daughter. So if tomorrow you marry and your sons claim to the throne, my children may not be in a position to fight your children. So Bhishma said, is that all? Don't worry, I will relinquish my right to marriage. That too didn't satisfy this fisherman. He said, you don't quite need a marriage to have children, or do you? He said. And Bhishma said, if that is be so, then I'll promise you that I will follow brahmacharya for throughout my life. I will never father any children. And that pleased the fisherman, and he gave his daughter, to him so that he could take her to the palace and she could marry the king. So while Devavrata was taking along Matsyagandha to Hastinapur, Matsyagandha said, can you stop the chariot for a while? And Devavrata said, why? He said, I am younger than you. So, but once I marry your father, I will be your mother. I can't touch your feet. I can't say how grateful I am for your benevolent oath. And Bhishma said, it doesn't matter you are younger or elder. If you marry, you are already my father's wife. Therefore, you are already my mother. I cannot allow a mother to touch my feet. And when he went back, Shantanu was shattered as well as happy. Shattered because his most loving son had relinquished his not just his right to the throne, but to even marry and to have any physical relationship. If everything went as per planned, then life wouldn't happen. So once Shantanu married uh, Matsyagandha, she was renamed as Satyavati. And they had two children in quick succession, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. And as it so happened, after the birth of Vichitravirya, Shantanu passed away. A couple of months later, Chitrangada got into some stupid fight and he lost his life. Then it was Bhishma who took Vichitravirya and put him on the throne. Vichitravirya was neither good looking nor charming. So, as it would happen, that it was very hard to find a wife for him. Usually, all the kings of Hastinapur were given the daughters from the Kashi kingdom. But Kashi king didn't want his daughters, three daughters, to marry this king. So he organized a Swayamvara. Bhishma came to know about it. He got furious. So he went, stormed the Swayamvara, defeated everyone, got the three princesses, and asked them to marry the king. The three princes were Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. Amba said, "I'm in love with someone," so Bhishma let her go. Ambika and Ambalika, they decided to marry the Vichitravirya. But even before he could marry, he could have any children with them, Vichitravirya died. The throne was empty. So Satyavati said to Devavrata, was now called as Bhishma because of his oath, marry the two, the queens and take the reign of the throne. Bhishma said, my oath was not conditional, it was absolute. I can neither marry, I can neither father, nor can I sit on the throne. So the idea of the fisherman that his grandchildren and their children must sit on the throne vanished in thin air. This story has a significant implication even in this world we live in. We all plan for great things. We think that, oh, we'll find this, we'll do that. And every time we see happiness not in our present, but in the future. So work hard today so that you can have a good degree. And once you have a degree, then you'll get a good job. And we think that once we have everything, we will be happy, but we are never happy. And our plans never go as per plan. And even if we achieve what we want, it doesn't yield the right result. If you want to be happy, be content with what you got. Do whatever the best you can and see how the things goes. You can't plan for all your eons and ages. There are countless beings which are doing their karma, their action, and they all change the nature of it. You can't even predict the future, which is why the concept of Jyotish, which is actually Vedic astronomy, is convoluted as astrology, doesn't fit into the Vedic realm. Because what the Vedas say, what even the Vyasa says in this context is, Yo na rishyati na dveshti, na shochati na kangshati, shubha ashubha parityagi, bhakti manya same priyaha. One who is neither sad when insulted, nor elated when appreciated. One who remains calm at on given point in time, who looks at everyone objectively, and who never gives into his emotion, that person is the most happiest. And that happiest person is also the wise. There's another quote worthy of this regard. Gatam shoko na kartavyo. What has happened, don't worry about it. Bhavishyam naiva chintayet. Don't think about the future that is yet to come. Vartamanena kalena. Living in the present moment. Pravartante vichakshana. Who lives like this is vichakshana or the wise. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was slightly larger. Until next time, pranam and namaste.